Good evening to all. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible. Good evening.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes. Sorry for late.
Good evening.
Actually, I
Good
was not
evening, ma'am.
able to join the meet.
Good evening.
Yes, yes. Okay. So before exploring our discussion, let us introduce myself. Myself, Principal Assistant Professor Radhanath ISC Katak. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Clearly.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we'll discuss about your. What will today discuss? Yes, anybody?
Knowledge and curriculum.
Knowledge and curriculum. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So before going to the topic, we'll first of all we'll discuss about knowledge. What is knowledge? Anybody who want to say? Yes. Concept of knowledge. So in this unit, first unit, we are going to explore about the concept of knowledge, relate knowledge with knowing, differentiate between a priori and a posteriori knowledge, analyze the different source of knowledge, discuss the role of culture in knowing, and explain the ways of validating the knowledge. Okay? So what is the concept of knowledge? By knowledge, what do you mean? Anybody who want to say? Yes? We'll
Ma'am,
discuss
knowledge is
and
the fact.
also we'll have a question answer session at the end. Yes? Yes,
Knowledge is a
Kamalini, you
fact
want to
or
say?
belief. Yes, ma'am. Knowledge is a
Yes.
fact or a belief.
Knowledge is a fact or a belief. Very good.
Good evening, ma'am.
Anyone?
Knowledge is the individual understanding of the subject matter and the concept.
Yes. Very good. Individual understanding of subject
Madam,
matter or
madam,
concept. Okay.
knowledge is something. Madam, knowledge is something that we gain from our experience.
Okay. Very good. Siddhara. Something we gain from our experience. Okay. These are all the form of knowledge. So, knowledge includes the fact or condition of knowing which is gained through experience or association. Okay? From our experience, we gain knowledge. And from association, association of what? Association of facts, event, experiences. Also, association in the sense that if we will consider it from the view of teaching and learning, association of what? Association of our previous experience with the present experience. Yes or no? Because
Yes,
we are saying
yes,
that
ma'am.
whenever you are interacting something or saying something, or whenever we are talking about something, we must have a prior knowledge. On the basis of that, and on the basis of our accumulated experience, evidence, we are forming our current knowledge, or we are constructing our knowledge. So knowledge is the association of the previous experience with the present facts or present events. We are associating the experience of the previous experience with the present experience or present aspects or phenomenon. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, Knowledge is understood in terms of enlightenment also. Enlightenment. Do you know the term enlightenment? Yes? Anybody who want to put on light about the term enlightenment? So the Indian philosophy believes knowledge as the breaking the veil of ignorance. That is, whenever we are moving from the veil of ignorance to the source of light or the source of knowledge, that is called enlightenment. One is said to have knowledge when one is aware of the phenomena and can also state that the awareness is true. Or we can say that knowledge is the sum of conceptions, ideas, laws, and propositions established and tested as correct reflection of the phenomena. In the other sense, we can say that knowledge is the result of knowers' active engagement with the object of knowledge. Knowledge and its intensity depends on the relationship between the knower and the known. Knowledge is an intensive or intensity of relationship between the knower and the known. That means known means who knows the concept or facts. Know is the facts. A knower is the subject. That means the relationship of the knower with the known. That means it is the relationship of the subject with the object. Here knowledge is the object and the known is the object and the knower is the subject. It is also believed that knowledge can be defined as it is the sum total of many phenomena and definition. Philosophers have made an attempt to define knowledge. That means Plato has examined 3 definitions of knowledge. One is knowledge is perception or sensation. Plato is saying that whenever you are acquiring some knowledge, we are using our sense organs to acquire the knowledge. Number 2 is knowledge is true belief. That means knowledge depends upon the belief system. If you are believing something or if you have a belief system, then automatically the knowledge will acquainted with that belief system. Knowledge is true belief accompanied by a rational ground. If there is some logic or there is some reasoning or reason behind some event or some phenomena that is happening, and we are accepting that it has a rational or logical ground, then that knowledge we can say that it is a true belief accompanied by a rational ground. That means we can say that there is some logic or there is some reason that something is happening, and we have to explore that reason. And we also have to analyze if this is happening, then why? What are the sources that are making the things to happen? So Plato has finally called knowledge as the justified truth. That means if we are saying something, that means it is backed by some evidence or backed by some truth, which has been verified and which have been tested. And that is some reason behind it. We cannot just say that I know this thing so that it is true. No, it must be validated, it must be verified, it must be testable. So knowledge is backed by the justified truth. Similarly, Dewey also denotes that knowledge as inferences from the truth. Whenever we are inferring, that means there is some background, there is some general body of knowledge. From the general body of knowledge, we are inferring something. Or from the premises, we are inferring the conclusion. So according to Dewey, knowledge is the inference from the truth. There is some verifiable or testable facts or event, or there exists some truth from which we are inferring something. That means it is validated, it is tested, and it is true. Similarly, the National Curriculum Framework, NCF 2005, what it says, it places experience of the knower at the center. According to NCF 2005, knowledge can be conceived as experience organized through language into patterns of thought, thus creating meaning, which in turn helps us to understand the world we live in. It can also be conceived as the patterns of activity or physical dexterity with thought contributing to acting in the world and the creating and making of things. So knowledge can be conceived as experience organized through language into the patterns of thought, thus creating meaning. Similarly, the social constructivist approach, social constructivist emphasize knowledge as the individuals and collective group that are continually constructing and reinventing their understanding of themselves and the world around them. The knowledge is also individual and also collective. That means we can also create our own knowledge through our own perception, through our own feelings, through our own understanding of the world. Similarly, we can also have some collective groups of knowledge that we gain by interacting with the individuals around us. Or you can say that by interacting with the societal members or societal participants, or through mutual understanding and mutual aspects of gaining knowledge, we can also construct knowledge. So we can also distinguish about two things. That is, one is information, another is belief and truth. Who can say that what is an information? Anybody have a knowledge regarding information? Yes?
So, ma'am, information means interpreted data in a meaningful context. It is information.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Ma'am, information means interpreted data in a meaningful context. When something is in meaningful context, we can say that that is information.
Okay. And what is your belief and truth? Thank you, Ranjan. What is belief and truth?
Ma'am, I know belief means something that is you believe, and the truth means that you have the scientific proven belief which is be proved by the scientific methodologically that is a truth.
Okay. Truth means it is a verified knowledge. Information, whenever we are saying, it is a raw data. It is discrete and it is a raw data. That means it is a preliminary level of knowledge and it is publicly available. Okay? Information is publicly available. It is about facts of known, but is known to us. We can say that what we know, we can say that it is information for us. And it is publicly available. Yes, Ridhara, you want to say something?
मैडम जो ए जो बिलीफ आउ रहिला ना तो हमर बिलीफ आउ कहले
Belief and truth. Information.
मैम
One is
बिलीफ
information,
जो
another is belief.
मैडम
Yes.
बिलीफ जोटा कि माने आमे धरो काहाटू किछ गोटे कथा सुनिले सेटा विश्वास करदिले सेटा मे बिलीव हो किंतु ट्रू जेतो आमे ताको एक्सपीरियंस करंती किंबा ताको आमे हैंड ऑन एक्टिविटी करी किंबा निजे किछ गोटे कला पर ताको सत्य कथा होय जे सेटा माने राइट कि रॉन्ग सेतले ट्रूथनेस आसी जाय
Yes, yes. You are right. Absolutely right. Thank you.
थैंक यू
Belief is personal and subjective feelings. Okay. It is very personal. What we know or what we observe from others' point of view, said by others. But whenever we are saying the truth, it is the verified knowledge. Truth is a property of belief. So knowledge can be classified into different forms based on different conceptualization. So it can be classified under three heads. Number one is a priori knowledge. A priori knowledge is something, it is the knowledge whose truth or falsity can be decided before or without recourse to experience. That means knowledge that is a priori has universal validity and once recognized as true does not require any further evidence. We can say that a priori knowledge is known, that is independent knowledge of experience, often based on self-evident or based on reason and logic. That is your a priori knowledge. We can say that whenever we are saying that in mathematics, we are saying that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Okay, it does not require any further verification or validation, require any further evidence. Similarly, we are whenever we are saying a statement that all bachelors are unmarried, that means we need not have to experience the unmarried status, but by the statement itself, we know that this statement is true or this statement is correct. We can say that the statements that are always true by definition, or we can say that working out the properties of a shape based on its definition. Suppose we are saying that a triangle has 3 sides, 3 corners. So by its shape only or by its side only, you can know that it is a triangle. We need not have to verify that it is a triangle or it is a rectangle or it is a circle. Okay, by the name or by the shape itself, we can recognize it as a triangle. Similarly, what is a posteriori knowledge? This knowledge is based on the observation and experience. Or you can say that by our sensory perceptions, we can also gain some knowledge or we can experience something. Whenever we are saying that the sky is blue or the coffee is hot, that means we are using our sense organs to form a concept or to form a belief pattern. Also, it is based on empirical observations. Or we can say that it is raining. That means we are observing that it is raining. There is evidence. And on the basis of that evidence and experience or observation, we are saying that it is raining. Similarly, the plants grew taller. It is also, whenever we are saying it, the plants grew taller, that means we are observing the plant. Whenever it is from sowing a seed to see the plant to grow a tree. Also, it is based on the scientific facts. That means water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Humans or mammals. These are all facts. Also, it depends on our personal experience, good or bad. Whenever we are saying something, okay, that concept was very good. The lecture was not so good. Okay, it is depends on our personal experience, a posteriori knowledge. Statements about the world that require verification. That means we can verify it, or whenever we are giving some statement, or whenever we are giving some concept, it must be verifiable. Next is your experienced knowledge. It is known to all of you that experienced knowledge is a form of knowledge, is always tentative and cannot exist prior to experience. That means experienced knowledge can only happen whenever we have experienced the facts or phenomena or object. Then only we can have a view, or then only we can have an opinion about that knowledge. That is your experienced knowledge. It is based on experience. Then is your source of knowledge. Knowledge through sense experience. We can know many things about the external world by our sensory organs or sense experience, by seeing, smelling, touching, tasting, or hearing. For example, we can also make a mistake whenever we are constructing knowledge through our sense organs. For example, we may perceive a snake or a rope or a rope for a snake. but whenever we get closure and confirm whether it is a rope or snake, then that knowledge about the object becomes external and it is perceived through our external senses. So knowledge can be perceived both through external senses and internal senses. Internal senses is very subjective. That means it depends upon our mental operations, such as thinking, believing, and wondering. In that particular cases, sense organs are not involved in knowing. Nevertheless, on the basis of certain experience, one may state certain propositions like, I am having a headache, I feel sad. That means I feel ill. This is based on the internal feelings. It is very much psychological in nature. Whenever I am saying that I am having a headache, I feel sad, I feel ill. That means there are some occurrent states or occurrent states of events or facts. On the basis of these occurrent events, I am saying something that I feel bad or I feel sad, I have a headache. Okay? So this is the knowledge based on, or sources of knowledge based on internal senses. Another is, is your dispositional words. The words that can be used to describe people's inner states or moods and emotions are dispositional words. For example, I am in an irritable mood. I am in an irritable mood means if someone were annoy me, I would be irritated more quickly than the usual. So there is a distinction between the occurrent state and the dispositional state. Occurrent is the internal senses that is occurring, and on the basis of that occurrence, I am giving some statements. Whereas dispositional is a way forward from the occurrent state. That means it is more intensive. For example, we can say that a seed having the potential to grow into a plant, but if we kept it in a jar, it's said to be dispositional, because if we keep the seed outside the jar, it will grow in a much fruitful way, in a much advanced way, rather than in a jar. Thus, we have the knowledge of inner state of mind, which can be occurrent in a situation or dispositional. It depends upon the potency or properties of happening something given a chance. Knowledge through reason. This type of knowledge is arrived at by means of reasoning. For example, if you are saying that 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Do we believe that there is some reasoning behind this? Yes or no? How many types of reasoning do you know? Anybody? Types of reasoning?
2 types, ma'am.
What are they?
One is deductive, one is inductive.
One is deductive and another is inductive. Very good. So can you say that what is deductive reasoning? Yes?
मैडम डिडक्टिव टा होची रूल टू एग्जांपल और इंडक्टिव टा होची एग्जांपल टू रूल.
I cannot get you, Sridhara. Can you explain it further?
मैडम इंडक्टिव रीजनिंग टा होची रूल एग्जांपल टू रूल और डिडक्टिव टा होची रूल टू एग्जांपल.
Okay, example to rule. That means particular to general, you are saying.
Yes, suppose आमे जदि कहबा इंडक्टिव रे तो पिला मानन को कहजा जे 2 + 2 होची 4 तापर तांको आमे विभिन्न एग्जांपल दबा सेटा होची डिडक्टिव. इंडक्टिव रे आमे तांको आगे विभिन्न एग्जांपल दबा जे धरो 2टा काटी आ प्लस 2टा काटी आनी मिसले तापर 4 होची इंदा 2टा कंडे किंबा 2टा कंडे आनी मिसले 4 होची 4टा कंडे होची सेटा कला पर तांको जानले जे 2 + 2 4 होची सेटा होची इंडक्टिव.
Okay. Anyone who want to say? Or you can say that in deductive reasoning, the conclusion is logically derived from the premise. Okay? In deductive reasoning, the conclusion is logically follows from the premise. If the premises are true, the conclusion that follows must be true. For example, if it is raining, the streets will be wet. ଯଦି ବର୍ଷା ହଉଛି ତାହେଲେ ରାସ୍ତାଟା ଓଦା ହବ. ବର୍ଷା ହଉଛି ତେଣୁ ରାସ୍ତାଟା କଣ ହବ? ଓଦା ହବ. So it is an example of which type of reasoning? Yes. It is an example of which type of reasoning? Deductive reasoning, because the conclusion is logically derived from the premises. The premises are true, so the conclusions are likely to be true. Or you can say that if one accepts the premise, then we have to also accept the conclusion. That means we can say that the conclusion is derived or the conclusion is followed from the premise. Okay? Or you can say that all men are mortal, Ram is a man, therefore Ram is mortal. That means the argument is valid. Or you can say that the conclusion follows from the premise. But there is some exception. We can say that sometimes the premises may be true, but there may not be valid arguments. We can say that there is a mismatch between the premise and the conclusion. That means the conclusion is not logically derived from the premise. Here, there is an example. India is a democratic country. 2 + 2 = 4. Therefore, he is driving the car. What do you mean from the above premise and conclusion or statements? There is no coordination between the premise and conclusion. That means there is no logical inferences from the premise to the conclusion, or you cannot deduct anything, or we cannot infer conclusion from the premise because this is not logically coordinated or logically arranged, or there is no coordination between the premise and conclusion. We can say that there is no coordination or there is no valid arguments between the premise and the conclusion. Okay? But in inductive reasoning, the premises provide evidence for the conclusion, but it may not necessarily be the complete evidence. Inductive reasoning, the premise provide evidence for the conclusion, but not complete evidence. The conclusion is not certain, but only probable to the certain degree. That means the conclusion we are inferring from the premise, we can say that it is only a probable statement or probable to a certain degree. Whenever we are saying that crow 1 is black, crow 2 is black, crow 3 is black, therefore all crows are black. Here we say that crow 1, 2, 3 are black, but here we are not analyzing that only 3 crows are black, crows are black, and on the basis of that we are saying that all crows are black. But here we are not analyzing that there may be some white crow also. We are not verifying or testing all the crows. So it is always possible the next crow which we may come across might be white. So in inductive reasoning, truth is established based on earlier evidence for something which is not observed. Or we can say that in an inductive argument, we rely on certain law of nature which are formulated based on certain recurring uniformities in the course of our experience. Next is your authority. It is not a primary source of knowledge where one experiences knowledge through one's own reasoning or sense experience. We accept certain things as true on the basis of authority. So who can be authority and which source of knowledge can be accepted as an authoritarian knowledge? There are some conditions. Number one is the person must really be an authority. That means the person must be a specialist one, a specialist in the field of knowledge. Then only we can say that that source of knowledge is an authoritarian knowledge or the source is an authority. Number two is whenever one accepts another person's statement and authority, it should be able to he should be able to find out for himself or verify the knowledge. That means whenever we are saying that, or whenever we are empirically checking the truth of Einstein's theory of relativity, though it would take years of special training and experimentation. Number three is the authority should be able to provide evidential proof for the knowledge he possesses and present a logical explanation for that. Number four is the knowledge claimed by the authority should have acceptance by the other expert in the area. That means universal acceptability jadi rahuchi, or that the knowledge that is formulated must be accepted on a larger scale or on a larger note or in a wider range. Then that source of knowledge, we can say that coming from the authority source. Now, next is your intuition. It is a certain kind of experience when a conviction of certainty comes upon us quite suddenly like a flash. बेले बेले तुम्हें देखी बो तुम्हें कोटा करिबा ठीक नुहे बा ठीक जजमेंट जतबो तुम्हें नउचो what should be do or what should not be do. There is a confusion and suddenly you decided that no, that should be done. It is the right way to do this thing. Or it is the correct way to do these things. Or it is right. Suddenly a flash come to your mind. That is your intuition. So intuition also sometimes conflicts. For example, the intuition that is coming instantly or suddenly to our mind may be valid, may be invalid, may be beneficial, may be harmful, or may be correct or may be false. So intuition is always in a conflicting stage, a conflicting state. That means, for example, two people can intuit about tomorrow's weather condition. So one is saying that tomorrow there will be rain, there will be raining, and another person is saying tomorrow there will be no rain. There will not be any rain. The weather will be very good. So it is a conflicting statement. That means I am saying what, from my perspective, what is true, or what my intuition is saying, it may vary from another person's intuition because it is very personal and it is very subjective. Knowing by intuition does not really explain knowing how we are knowing it. Also, it does not tell us about validating the procedure. The problem was contemplated upon for a longer period in search of a solution in case where the scientists were supposed to have intuited. That means whenever we are in having some intuition, that means we have experienced or we have observed for a longer period of time or for a larger period of time. And suddenly there is a flash coming to our mind, no, this is the right thing. In that particular state of mind, there is always a chance that we may have take the correct decisions. But whenever we are taking a decision during a shorter period of time or a limited period of time, our intuition may not work perfectly or our intuition may not be so good. So, however, it is or this does not guarantee that every time the scientist intuited, it had carried a valid piece of knowledge. आमे देखिबा कि जो साइंटिस्ट माने होंतु बा रिसर्चर माने होंतु बा एक्सपेरिमेंटर माने होंतु से माने जो fact বা truth establish କରିଛନ୍ତି ତା ପଛରେ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡେ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟର ସେମାନେ ନେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କ intuition କୁ ନେଇଛନ୍ତି ତାଙ୍କର ଲେବର କୁ ନେଇଛନ୍ତି ତ ସେମାନେ ଯୋଉ intuition ବା fact establish କରିଛନ୍ତି এটা ଗୋଟେ shorter period of time ରେ ହେଇନି it requires a larger period of time or longer period of time okay okay it is understood by all or not got my point anybody or is there in confusion we'll discuss at the end okay next is revelation revelation as a source of knowledge has the same problem as intuition for example I have a certain perception or I have a certain visionary or state of mind regarding some object or phenomena but it may not be true for the other person because the other person's visionary or other person's mental state is different from my state of mind or my vision so revelation does not show that its message is true or can be trusted
hello
yes
मैम इंट्यूशन का आउट टे कहबे तो बुझेला
अच्छा इंट्यूशन ଆମେ ପରେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବା କିସାନ ଓକେ
ओके
କ୍ଲାସ ଟା ସରିଲା ପରେ ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସନ କରିବା ଆମେ ରିଭିଲେସନ କୁ ଆସିଲେଣି ହେଲେ So revelation means the fact that the person had a dream or a vision does not show that its message is true or can be trusted. Okay, because different people have different state of visionary or mental state or vision. And the person's revelation is very personal and it is very individual. So it cannot be trusted. And the message obtained from the revelation may not be always true. Next is faith. This source of knowledge overlaps the previous one having the same problem. That means I have a certain belief system or I have faith in something, but I cannot say that I have faith in this aspect so that it must be true. No, I cannot say that. I believe it through faith. And this faith gives me knowledge. But it may not be true or it may not be applicable to the other person that I believe that I have this faith, so the other person must have this kind of faith or this faith and it must be true. So there is a conflicting statement. So it cannot be a valid source of knowledge. Next is nature of knowledge. Regarding the nature of knowledge, you can say that there is an abstract nature of knowledge. What is an abstract nature of knowledge? Yes, anybody? What is the abstract nature of knowledge? Yes? Do you have any idea? Abstract means we have a theoretical framework or we have a certain concept that is based on facts or findings or theories. That is your abstract nature of knowledge. Opposite to concrete nature of knowledge, where there is a scope of to utilize or to use your sense organs. All of you must have read about the Kolb's experiential model. Yes, do you know experiential model? You can also go and visit where Kolb's experience model has been discussed or analyzed. You can get clear. It is what is an abstract form of knowledge and what is a concrete form of knowledge. Okay, so by concrete form of knowledge, you can use your sense organs. We can use our senses to obtain that knowledge. That means it is very concrete. Whereas the abstract knowledge means it is very in-depth knowledge and it is based on the theoretical aspects. That means the knowledge that is justified truth or agreement between two ideas. This attributes to the abstract nature of knowledge. Maybe in the later class we can discuss about it. Next is your social nature of knowledge.
मैडम जो abstract knowledge कहले तार गोटे एग्जांपल किछि
Okay. ଯେମିତି କି we can say that ଆମେ ସାଇକେଲ ଚଲେଇବା ଶିଖୁଛେ ଓକେ କିନ୍ତୁ ସାଇକେଲ ଚଲେଇବା କେମିତି ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ପଢୁଛେ ତାର ଇନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ସନ ଗୁଡା ଆମେ ପଢୁଛେ ଏମିତି ପ୍ୟାଡଲ ମାରିଲେ ଏମିତି ବେଲଟାକୁ ମାରିଲେ ଏମିତି ଆମେ ସାଇକେଲ ଚଲେଇ ପାରିବା ବାଇ ପ୍ୟାଡଲକୁ ୟୁଜ କରିକି ଆମର ମୋଟର ଅର୍ଗାନକୁ ୟୁଜ କରିକି ଆମେ ସାଇକେଲଟା ଚଲେଇ ପାରିବା ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଜ ୟୋର ଆବଷ୍ଟ୍ରାକ୍ଟ ନେଚର ଅଫ ନଲେଜ ବଟ୍ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ସାଇକେଲଟା ନିଜେ ଚଲଉଛେ ଆମର ସେନ୍ସ ଅର୍ଗାନକୁ ୟୁଜ କରିକି ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଜ ମୋର ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ সেটা হচ্ছে তোমার কনক্রিট নলেজ আন্ডারস্টুড ইট
यस मैम
ওকে ইট ইজ
मैडम
ভেরি
एमिति कहि पारे
यस
कोनोसी इंस्ट्रूमेंट मिले तार गोटे लिखिता जे इन्फॉर्मेशन लिखिता हाउ टू यूज इट सेटा हेबो माने सेटा
यस यू आर नॉट ऑडिबल श्रीधर यस
मैडम मु कहले जेतला आप जोडे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक आइटम के दे ता लिखा है हाउ टू यूज इट तो सेटा पढे के हमें ता केंती सेटा होचे बता abstract knowledge अपन
यस यस जोटा कि हमें जेतबले जणे होची कंप्यूटर तमरो सॉफ्टवेयर आ जणे होची हार्डवेयर ओके तो सॉफ्टवेयर जे से तार कोन करूची थ्योरी विषय बेसी जानुची यस और नो किंतु हार्डवेयर जे यूज करूची से एक्चुअली ऑब्जेक्ट गुडा जानुची कोटे कोटा लागिवो बा डिजाइन तक से जानुची बुझी होची ना नहीं तो जणे जे टैक्स रे बा तार सेंस ऑर्गन को यूज करूची गोटे टैक्स को कंप्लीट करी बारे बा टैक्स को बुझी बारे दैट इज योर कॉन्क्रीट फॉर्म ऑफ नॉलेज किंतु एब्स्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्म ऑफ नॉलेज दैट मींस इन योर थ्योरी we have a general body of knowledge that this theory is working like this but whenever you are applying that theory in the actual field we can say that that is your concrete form of knowledge. I think I have cleared the concept.
यस मैम
Okay. Next is your social nature of knowledge. What is the social nature of knowledge? Knowledge is socially shared understanding. That means we cannot knowledge or we cannot construct knowledge by our own self. We can construct, but it is more meaningful when we are constructing knowledge by interacting with the societal members or members within the society. Because society provides us a variety of experiences, exposure, and we can learn through our varied observation from the society. So knowledge that is constructed upon societal interaction is more fruitful and has a broader or larger applicability than the knowledge constructed through individual observation or experience. So knowledge is essentially social in nature because a child whenever is interacting, first of all, he is interacting within his families. Then when going to the school, he is interacting with his peer group. Then when he's have got the chance to interact with a larger sector, we can say that in a society he is interacting, then his knowledge is increasing. Okay. Knowledge is cumulative. We can say that in this perspective that knowledge is transmitted and socially preserved from one generation to the future generation. In this particular aspect, we can say that it is continuous to grow and develop in generations with the help of new understanding of reality and new knowledge. In that particular sense, you can say that knowledge is cumulative. Knowledge is both limited and limitless. Yes, how can describe this statement? How knowledge is limited and limitless? Yes. I can give an example by a simple sentence that the known is always bounded by the unknown, but not the unknowable. The known is always bounded by the unknown, but not the unknowable. That means ଜଣେ ଯଦି ଜାଣିନି କିଛି କନସେପ୍ଟ ବା ଜଣେ କିଛି ଯଦି ଜାଣିନି କିଛି ଫେନୋମେନା ସେ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବ ବା ଅନନୋନ୍ ବିଷୟରେ ସେ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ଆଗ୍ରହୀ ହବ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲୋର କରିବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଗୋଟେ ଅନନୋଏବୁଲ ପର୍ସନ ଟୁ ସେ ଜାଣିବାକୁ କେବେ ବି ଇଚ୍ଛା କରିବ ନାହିଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛେ sometimes we are observing also in our classroom ତ ଆମେ କ୍ଲାସରେ ପଢୁଛେ ବା କ୍ଲାସରେ ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ସନ କରୁଛେ ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛେ whatever new knowledge or whatever the learning points I can particularly gain from this particular class. এই ଗୋଟେ particular class ରେ ମୁଁ କଣ ନୂଆ ଶିଖି ପାରିବି ବା କଣ ନୂଆ ମୁଁ ମୋର existing stock of knowledge ରେ add କରି ପାରିବି. There is some saying that a teacher who after completing the syllabus only repeating the same thing again and again, that teacher only what कौन करे? The teacher is a burden for the students, cannot quicken the knowledge of the students. ମୁଁ ଯଦି କିଛି ନୂଆ information ଦଉ ନାହିଁ ମୁଁ ଯଦି କିଛି existing knowledge କୁ କିଛି add କରୁ ନାହିଁ ବା ମୋର ଯଦି session ଟା is not fruitful for the learner or for the knower, then there in that particular aspect we can say that knowledge is not transmitting from one person to the other. So knowledge is always bounded by the unknown, but not the unknowable. Next is knowledge is prospectival. Knowledge does not simply explain the objective reality hanging out there. It constructs the reality within the limits set by the experience. It is not simply explanatory in character, rather it is interpretive in character and nature. Knowing and knowledge. अच्छा एठी गोटे कांसेप्ट आछो तुमर एपिस्टेमोलॉजी. What is epistemology? Yes, you must have read the term epistemology in philosophy. So epistemology is one of the branches of philosophy which is concerned with the theory of knowledge. It solves the two fundamental problems of knowledge, that is the origin of knowledge and validation of knowledge. Origin of knowledge and the validation of knowledge. The first moment is, according to Pryor, the cycle of knowing has two important moments which are dialectically related. So Pryor kon kohuchanti? Knowledge has two important moments which are dialectically related. What are the two moments? The first moment is moment of production of new knowledge, and the other is known, the produced knowledge is known to the knower. So at the first moment, we are producing the new knowledge, and the second step, the produced knowledge must be known to the knower. Often the teachers dichotomize these two moments. As a result, the learners are only expected to memorize what the teachers say. Consequently, the act of knowledge is reduced to only the transfer of knowledge. That means knowledge should not be a one-way process. That means there must be some interaction, there must be some discussion between the knower and the known. जे जानिबो एवं जहाकू जणा अछि तांको भितरे जदि इंटरैक्शन होउनी जदि known to the knower को जाउनी knowledge but transmission होउनी but you can say that जहा knower जानिछि केवल सेटा को ही जदि हमें known पाखरे पहुंची बाबा whatever I am saying teacher centric approach the teacher is the center of the knowledge that means whatever the teacher knows it is correct and it is final there is no scope of learner to participate in the discussion or to participate in the teaching learning process so particularly jadi eta two way process hoji that means both have the chance equal chance of participating in the discussion then only it will be fruitful and it will not be a memorization on the part of the learner. Next is your facets of knowledge, abstract versus concrete knowledge. Abstract terms refer to ideas or concepts. Whenever we are saying that, I have already discussed about this knowledge, abstract knowledge, it particularly refers to the ideas and concepts. They have no physical reference, while the concrete terms refer to objects or events that are available to the senses. That means whatever knowledge we are obtaining or we are constructing by exploring our sense organs. For gaining the abstract knowledge, mental processes are involved, whereas no such effort is involved in obtaining the concrete knowledge. Therefore, a person with concrete knowledge does not think beyond the facts and do not have the ability to think beyond a certain limit. तो जेतेबेले हमें सेति पई तुमर कोन हिची जेतेबेले हम ब्लूम्स टैक्सोनॉमी विषय पढुचे हमर कोन हिची हायर लोअर ऑर्डर रु हमर हायर ऑर्डर थिंकिंग जाय हमर कोन हिची कॉग्निटिव डोमेन गुडिको बा कॉग्निटिव डोमेन रे थिबा स्टेप्स गुडिको बा स्टेजेस गुडिको डिवाइड हेइची लोअर ऑर्डर रे हमें रिमेंबरिंग अंडरस्टैंडिंग अप्लाइंग करूचे सेमती एनालाइजिंग सिंथेसाइजिंग क्रिएटिंग हमें करूचे और इवैल्यूएटिंग हमें करूचे हायर ऑर्डर रे तो सेति पई abstract knowledge or abstract things or ideas depends upon ideas and more in-depth knowledge than the concrete one. Theoretical versus practical knowledge. Theoretical knowledge, all of you know that it allows you to learn through the experience of others and often leads to a deeper understanding of the context. And it always depends on the question why, the theoretical knowledge. With the help of this knowledge, it is possible to understand the intricacies of a theory and how it can be applied practically. But for attaining practical knowledge, a deeper understanding of a concept is achieved by doing the fact. That means practical knowledge is based on learning by doing or through personal experience. Universal knowledge versus local knowledge. Universal knowledge contains the characteristics of all skills or branches of learning. Universal knowledge is that knowledge which is known to be true everywhere in the universe and all of the time. Physics and mathematics, you can say that, are the two primary fields of study related to the universal knowledge. Because all of the functions of mathematics remain constant all the time and they can be used for a great many or all kinds, forms, sizes, etc. Contrary to universal knowledge, local knowledge does not embrace many or all skill or branches of knowledge. It is not adapted or adjustable to meet varied requirements of the universe. Thus, it does not affect, concern, or involve all and is not used or understood by all. So local knowledge includes the way people observe and measure their surroundings, how they solve problems and validate new information. So it includes the process whereby knowledge is generated, applied and transmitted to others. Local knowledge actually based on certain conditions. It is based on experience, often tested over centuries of use, adapted to local culture and environment, embedded in community practices, institutions, relationships, and rituals, held by individuals or communities, dynamic and changing. So particularly if we distinguish between local knowledge and universal knowledge has wider applicability or it is based on certain facts or theories, whereas local knowledge is based on experience and it is adapted to the local culture and environment. Next is your school knowledge and non-school knowledge. What is your school knowledge? School knowledge includes a hierarchically structured, chronologically graded education system. That means your school knowledge is more formal, running from the primary school through the university. And it includes the general academic subjects. And a variety of specialized subjects which help the learners to get technical and professional training. School knowledge is organized knowledge that is guided by the formal curriculum, leads to formally recognized credentials such as high school completion, diploma or a degree, and we are also getting a certificates according to the completion. And it is more systematic, organized education model. All of you know that. Whereas out of school knowledge includes that knowledge which operates before and after school. Out of the school knowledge is particularly organized to enhance the competitive skill of the learner. This kind of knowledge particularly helps in developing and nurturing the talents, in improving the academic performance and providing opportunity to form bonds with the adults and older youth who are positive role models. तुम देखिथिबो बेले बेले स्कूल रे जतबेले तुमे मिसो बा स्कूल रे जतबेले तुमरो सांग थांदी तुमे काहाटू सिखो तुमरो पीयर ग्रुप टू सिखो नहले तुम टीचर मानंगठू सिखो किंतु आउट ऑफ स्कूल रे तुमे इंटरैक्ट करूछो टेरिटरी रे तुमरो गोटे वाइडर रेंज ऑफ लर्निंग रो स्कोप रहुछ तुमे तुमठू अधिक एज रो लोकंठू सिखि परिबो कम एज रो लोकंठू सिखि परिबो एवं तुमरो नॉलेज रो टेरिटरी बा नॉलेज रो स्कोप टा इज मोर वाइडर तो हमर जत्ते बेसी इंटरैक्शन हबो ऑब्जर्वेशन हबो आउटसाइड द वर्ल्ड the more knowledge or the more skill will be particularly regarding the performance of certain tasks. देखिथिबो तुमे पिला माने केते जण पिला particularly स्कूल रे भलो परफॉर्म करंती स्कूल रे तांकर नंबर अधिक थाए किंतु जते बेले तांको कोनोसी गोटे कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम पाइका तांको चांस दिया जाय बा स्कोप मिले दे कैन नॉट perform better. What is the reason? Yes, anyone who can say what is the reason behind this?
They have very less outside knowledge. That means non-school knowledge.
Yes, non-school knowledge means seta bhi gote productive way re ba organized way re haba darkar. Okay. So school knowledge ame kahuche school knowledge ta more formal and particularly school knowledge ra jaha objective rahuchi बा डायमेंशन रहुची बा लर्निंग आउटकम रहुची एटा होची कोन पर्टिकुलर एंड इट इज ग्रेड स्पेसिफिक जेमति कि हमें गोटे पंचम श्रेणी रे पिला पई बा चतुर्थ श्रेणी रे पिला पई हमर लर्निंग आउटकम बा लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव कोन रहुची ते किछु गोटे पर्टिकुलर टास्क जदि मैथमेटिक्स कथा हमें कहिबा से 4 अंक विशिष्ट संख्यार 4 डिजिट नंबर से मिश्रण फेडाण गुणन हरण करि पारुथिबो. That means the competency we have fixed for a class 4 learner. It is fixed. किंतु से पिलाटी जदि गोटे हायर क्लास रो पिला सहित मिसुची ता सहित इंटरैक्ट करूची ताहले से एई कॉम्पिटेंसी रु अधिक कॉम्पिटेंसी दैट मींस गोटे 5 अंक विशिष्ट संख्या रो भी से मिश्रण फेडाण गुणन हरण करि परिबो. काहे कि ता पाखरे गोटे ब्रॉडर रेंज बा वाइडर स्कोप अछि सिखिबा पइगा. बस ये देखिबो ए मिश्रणटी को मु जदि अलगा वे रे करबी ता धरे मध्ये मु सॉल्व करि पारुची. ता माने डाइवर्जेंट थिंकिंग, analyzing the same problem or solving the same problem from different perspective or from different angles or from different viewpoints. Okay, bujhila. Next is your role of culture in knowing. Culture has a very important role in knowledge construction or knowledge transmission. That means learners learn by relating new experience to what they already know. पढ़िছো तुम्हें constructivist theory पढ़िছো ना नहीं? constructivist theory कौन कहूची? संगठनवाद सुनिছো term? Have you heard the term?
Students will learn by doing.
Yes, one by one.
Students will learn.
Learning
Yes,
by
yes,
doing. Okay, activity based learning. Yes, Akshay, you want to say something?
मैम प्रथमे जदि गोटे पिला को किछि करिया को प्रोजेक्ट टाइप रो दबा ताको माने किछि दबा तापर सेथु से सिखियो किछि जो नॉलेज टा गेन करियो सेटा का लर्निंग बाय डूइंग.
Yes. That means we are saying that nobody comes to the school with a blank slate. No child comes to the school with a blank slate. Every child has some previous knowledge. Okay, some prior experience. से पिलाटी जेतेबेले स्कूल को एंट्री करूची ता पाखरे किछि प्रीवियस नॉलेज बा पूर्व ज्ञान बा किछि एक्सपीरियंस रहूची जोटा को नै कि से स्कूल को आसुची पूर्व अनुभूति किछि रहूची. तो स्कूल जेतेबेले आसुची स्कूल रे से किछि न्यू नॉलेज पाउची. And whenever he is coordinating or constructing his knowledge, new knowledge, by coordinating or correlating his previous knowledge, पिलाटी कौन करूची knowledge acquire करूनी. The child is not acquiring knowledge, the child is constructing knowledge by doing the things or by actively engaging in the teaching learning process. तमर सेति में आसला ना constructivist approach रो तमर आसला कोन activity based learning by doing or meaningful learning. Learning should be meaningful, learning should be enjoyable, learning should be goal oriented, learning should be challenging for the learners. पिला पाई जदि शिक्षणटी चैलेंजिंग नुहे, पिला पाई जदि एंजॉयबल होउनी, पिलाटी जदि लर्निंग रु किछि सिखु नाही बा मीनिंग अर्थपूर्ण शिक्षण जदि ता पाई होउ नाही, then the child will not participate. Okay, so culture provides a scope. तो सेति पाई स्कूल रो करिकुलम मध्य डिजाइन हबा दरकार by taking into account the different culture from different individuals, so that meaningful learning will take place, or we can say that learning is constructed in a meaningful way. So this constructivist approach also highlights the concept of your importance of language in the classroom. That means the teacher must use the child's mother language in the classroom so that the child will not feel inferior, the child will participate in the discussion. The language plays a very integral part, an important part whenever we are saying that culture is an important source of knowledge, or the role of culture is very important in constructing knowledge of the child. Similarly, the knowledge is also viewed from a social constructivist approach, emphasizes that individuals and collective groups are continually construct and reinvent their understanding of themselves and the world around them. The influence of the social constructivist view of knowledge implies that knowledge is a human product and is social and culturally constructed. Tomorrow, Vygotsky has laid emphasis on your social constructivist knowledge. Also, Jacobs and Kothari has also pointed out the aspect of social and culturally constructed knowledge. Or experiential knowledge. Tomorrow NEP 2020 कौन कहूची का ऊपर focus करिची? Which kind of knowledge? Yes. Anybody?
Experiential learning, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Experiential learning. So next is your validation of knowledge. So how can we validate the knowledge? Through verification. Through verification, we can validate the knowledge. It is easy to verify statements like this pot of water will boil at 100 degrees centigrade because we have empirically tested it and we have evidence that water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Because we can verify it or you can test it by boiling the water at 100 degrees Celsius. So to verify a proposition is to make such observation which would entitle us to conduct definitely that a certain object or phenomena is true or false. Or you can give an example that if 50 marbles out of 100 are found to be black, we cannot say that the 100 marbles are black. Can we say that? No. If we are giving some judgment or statement that all marbles are black, then we have to examine the entire 100 marbles. So verifying and confirming are both things we have to do, are the operations we perform. We cannot verify or confirm until we know the meaning of the statements to be verified or confirmed. Next, the question arises, when must the verification take place? The statement केतेबेला हम verification करिबा? The statement describes a past event. It is true that we are not in a position to verify it since it would require our being present at the Roman Senate in 44 BC. There is a statement that Julius Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC. Because it is a past event and we cannot verify it, or we cannot in a position to verify it because we cannot go through that period. So on the basis of that evidence, or we find the statement are present and evidences, because nothing will bring us back to the past. The most we can do in the present is to confirm it, that is, find some evidence as to whether it is true or not. Or whenever we are saying that there will be a severe economic depression in the world within the next 5 years, how we can verify this statement? A statement को हम केमिति verify करी परिबा? Because we are perceiving or we are observing an economic depression, or we are expecting the war will occur in the near future. So we can also have a statement, or we can verify that there will be a severe economic depression in the world within the next 5 years. Because we have the evidence, we have the facts, we have the observation. On the basis of that, we can verify the statement.
Ma'am, it may be or it may not be.
Yes,
Deeper
it may be or it may not be. अच्छा, एटा जो statement हमें दौचे ୟାକୁ ଦବା ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଆମକୁ ଦିଟା ଜିନିଷ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ କଣ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ ସିଚୁଏସନ ର କଣ୍ଡିସନ କଣ ଅଛି ପାଷ୍ଟ ରେ ଇकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन कौन अच्छी पास्ट कंडीशन कौन अच्छी बुझी पारछ तो
आज्ञा आज्ञा मैम
वर्तमान हमर प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन रे वार चलीची बा वार हबार संभावना अच्छी प्रीवियस सिचुएशन रे हमर कोन हेतिला एवं ताकू आमे तो कोऑर्डिनेशन करूचे आमे देखुचे आमे गोटे स्टेटमेंट दउचे दिस मे हैपन इन द नियर फ्यूचर this may happen it may not happen but on the basis of certain observations on the basis of certain facts or findings we can have a generalization or we can predict that these things may happen in the future but unless and until we have verified it we have certain facts or we have certain groundwork we cannot assume that this will happen okay
yes ma'am
next is by whom must the verification be performed ये करिबा दरकार
ma'am the learner
or the person who has experience in the field or who has some observation in the field or who is an expert in the field yes or no
yes ma'am
सही माने ही वेरिफिकेशन करिवे बस सही माने ही एक्सपेरिमेंट करिवे those who have expert knowledge about the field next there is a certain period how can the statement with an infinite or indefinite large range over be verified केते रेंज आमे ताको वेरीफाई करि परिबा बा हाउ आमे ଗୋଟେ लिमिट सेट करिबा दैट अप टू दिस पॉइंट वी कैन वेरीफाई इट ओके नेक्स्ट इज देयर इज ए स्मॉल बट peculiar class of statements whose verifiability has a different status in the affirmative than in the negative जेमति कि consider the statement the earth will continue to exist even after living things no longer exist on it से कहूची जदि केही भी पृथ्वी रे जीव जंतु न रहिबे still the earth will exist and this is a small but peculiar class of statement and it is its status is more affirmative than the negative next is conformability for example we can say that we cannot verify that all crows are black but one can confirm it by examining a larger numbers or larger portion of the object which are found as black or which are larger portion of the crows by examining thousands of crows and finding all of them to be black so on the basis of that observation or examination one can confirm that all crows are black next is your refutation knowledge that is expressed in the form of laws or theories can be refuted on the grounds of incompatibility of an event with the theory that means there is a mismatch between the theory and the practice or on the event or we can say that confirming evidence should not only count except when it is the result of genuine test of the theory and this means that it can be presented as a serious but unsuccessful attempt to falsify the theory every genuine test of a theory is an attempt to falsify or to refute it testability is falsifiability but there are degrees of testability some theories are most testable are more exposed to refutation than the other or you can say that the Marx theory of society and the Freud's theory of human behavior as outstanding example of theories which fail to meet the important criteria. These are the theories which are most testable. Such theories are incapable of making definite and therefore falsifiable prediction. In attempting to explain everything, they explain nothing. That means there is no coordination between the theory and the actual situation. There is a mismatch between the theory and the actual situation. So in that particular sense, we can say that there is the occurrence of refutation. So this is all about your unit 1. Do you have any question, or we'll move to the unit 2? As we have a very limited time period and we have to cover a large number of things. Okay.
Ma'am, can you explain? Can you give any example of refutation?
Okay. Example of reputation means we can say that. Okay, can you give example from your side? Yes, one who want to cite an example? Because it is an interactive session, okay? ଆମେ participate କରିବା discussion ରେ. Yes, କିଏ କହିବ? देखो, yes, who want to say? जहाँ हमारा existing body of knowledge अच्छी, बा theories अच्छी, बा laws अच्छी, जदि ताहा किसी compatibility रखुनी, event सहित, then we can say that there arises the question of refutation. ଯେମିତି କି ଆମେ କହୁଛେ ଗୋଟେ certain conditions ଉପରେ ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ economic analysis ଉପରେ ମୁଁ ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଥିଲି, war like situation ଆସିଲେ ଆମର କଣ ହବ? Economic condition disturb होउची, but there is an imbalance within the country by internal harmony by discipline कौन होउची तार disturb होउची. Similarly, there are some certain existing theories. जेमती कि हमरो प्रथमे हमर कोन थिला हमरो तुम गोटे सिंपल एग्जांपल दउची तमरो टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस को नहीं. ओके, प्रीवियस रे तुमरो जो ट्रेडिशनल अप्रोच रे थ्योरी कोन थिला? को थ्योरी थिला? Teaching learning theory was mostly teacher centric. Traditional classroom कथा कुआ थिला ना नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
टीचर centric थिला तो टीचर सेंट्रिक हबा द्वारा कोन हला? जहार नॉलेज अधिका अछि, जे जते घोषी परिला, जे जते मन रखि परिला, से माने कोन कले? सेही स्टूडेंट्स माने आगु को गले. But what about the backbenchers? Rest of the student कर कोन हला? They have nothing to do with the teaching learning process. तो हमरो theory कहूची teacher centric approach is very useful for the learners, but एठी मध्ये reputation आसिला बा objection आसिला no. Teacher centric approach may be suitable for the gifted learners, but it is not suitable for all learners in the classroom. Yes or no?
Yes.
So there exists some reputation that today's scenario is demanding that there should be holistic development of the child, and the learner should include each and every, learning process should include each and every learner of the classroom. That means the child will learn by doing certain activity or performing some task. That means the traditional approach is refuted on the basis or on the fact that teacher-centric approach or traditional approach is not suitable for all the learners. It may be suitable for a limited group of learners. But if you want to engage or involve all the learners of our classroom, we must use activity-based approach or learning by doing approach, where where we can engage each and every learner in the teaching learning process. So there is a reputation in the teacher-centric approach and the learning process or the learning outcome. Understood? So here is a mismatch between the current event and the established theory. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So this is a simple example. We can understand it because you are, yes? Yes? Anybody have some question, or we will move to the second unit because you have very limited time. Okay? Next is your process of knowing, unit 2. Is it okay to all of you? We'll move to the second unit. Yes or no? Just give me a confirmation. You have to confirm.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is your process of knowing. What is the process of knowing? Because knowledge creation is a spiral process that goes through seemingly opposing concepts such as order and chaos, micro and macro part as a whole. Knowledge construction is not a one-way process, it is a spiral process. And it is interacting with the opposing concepts, self and other, deduction and induction, creativity and efficiency. So we must have to understand that knowledge creation is a translating process through which entities, groups go beyond the boundary of the old into a new self by acquiring new knowledge. In the process, new conceptual artifacts and structures for interaction are created which provide possibilities as well as constrain the entities in consequent knowledge creation. So thus knowledge creation is a cyclic process. That means knowledge creation करूचे माने हमको तीनटा जिनस उपरे ध्यान देवाक पड़िबो. Number 1 is your plan, act and reflect. हमें प्रथमे गोटे प्लानिंग करिबा, by which kind of knowledge we want to interact or we want to transact. Next is your acting upon that process. Knowledge is planned. How we can transmit the knowledge, it is planned. Next is acting on the planning or the process aspect we have to act, or the intervention part we have to act. After acting, we have to reflect whether that process of knowledge or source of knowledge is fruitful or is beneficial for the learner or not. So it is a cyclical process, planning, acting and reflecting. Knowledge is contextual, which means the same reality can be viewed differently depending on the context from which one sees it. That means knowledge is situational or contextual. In which situation or which context we are applying the knowledge, that depends upon the situation. The social, cultural, and historical context are important for individuals because such context gives the basis to individuals to give meaning to it. That is why limited interaction with the environment and externalization of personal knowledge can lead to misconception. If we have a limited body of knowledge or externalization of personal knowledge, it will lead to misconception. Therefore, teaching must be concerned with how we understand the process of the development of ideas and how we fit it into that process. That means knowledge should generate or coordinate between the process and the product. What we intended or what is our goal, what we intended to do, and what is the process or what are the means or what is the process we are adapting to reach that goal or to reach that product. So this can be done by asking the questions why something happens. This kind of questions allows us to stimulate our thinking and also evokes the need for holistic ideas that help context and ideas fill the enormous gap in our understanding. Ways of knowing. What are the ways of knowing? A teacher is expected to train the learner or help the learner in the critical evaluation of knowledge so that they can see how different types of knowledge has been judged in different ways. ଯେମିତି କି ଆମେ ଯଦି ତୁମକୁ କହିବା 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. It is a constant solution to a constant problem. But if you are allowing the child that how the digit 4 can be obtained by summing different numbers, that means 2 रे 2 मिसले 4 होउची 2 रे 2 मिसले केते हबो एटा होउची गोटे पर्टिकुलर आंसर आर अछि किंतु 4 केते रे केते मिसले 4 हबो, that means there is no specific answer to that question. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
3 रे 1 मिसले 4 हबो, 4टा 1 मिसले भी 4 हबो,
So,
2 रे 2 मिसले भी 4 हबो,
so ma'am,
हबो ना नहीं?
so ma'am, we have to provide them open-ended questions.
You have to provide them different viewpoints or open-ended question. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Open-ended question dabo joti ki there is a chance on the part of the learner to analyze or to perceive the same problem from different perspective or different angles, or to analyze the same problem from different angles. So provide a solution, different solution to the same problem. So a teacher is expected to learn or to train the children like this so that a more fruitful result can be obtained. Next is your sense perception. It is understood. I will not going to make it understand. By using their sensory organs, the child can perceive something. A sense perception is a subjective activity and it varies from individual to individual depending upon one's innate abilities. Whose innate abilities is higher, that person's perceiving capacity or perception is more than the person has less innate abilities. It has some advantages and disadvantages. Language acts as a medium for conveying the knowledge from one individual to other. All of you know about that. Next is emotion. Emotion plays a very powerful role in shaping thoughts, influencing behavior, and steering the pursuit of knowledge. While emotions may be a key to self-understanding and to understand the world. But here we must have to be very careful whenever we are using our emotional intelligence, because emotions sometimes may lead to negatively impact the learner. So emotions must be used in a positive way. Curiosity and eagerness must be raised inside the classroom. ଯେମିତି क्वेश्चन पचरिया ପାଇଁ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ एनकरेज करा जिबा कथा. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
किंतु आमे कोन करू आज ए टीचर पिला जदी क्वेश्चन पचरला ताले कोन हि जिवो, इट इज ए सीरियस ऑफेंस टू द टीचर. Yes or no? क्वेश्चन पचरला माने टीचर मुंडो बिंधा स्टार्ट होला. टीचर कहबो टीचर आउटी बड़ कष्ट क्वेश्चन पचरि कि ताको बसै दबो. The पिलाटी आउ केबे भी क्वेश्चन पचरिबो नाही से क्लास रे टीचर. Yes or no? So emotion should be handled positively. and we should arouse positive emotion within the child. Next is reason. If you want to understand what reason is, then we must understand that it is the ability to use logical deduction. As a teacher, we must encourage or we must create a scope or create an environment for the child where his reasoning ability will develop in a more positive way, so that he can logically interact or logically analyze the concept or thing or phenomena, and a more valid result will come out. Classroom as a space for collaborative construction of knowledge. Tomorrow NEP 2020 ho, tomorrow 1986 policy ho, Kothari Commission ho, all the theories and policies are saying that classroom should be a collaborative construction. Classroom should be utilized as a space for collaborative construction of knowledge. It is not individual construction of knowledge. Teacher student ର collaboration ରେ ହେଇପାରିବ, student ର collaboration ରେ ହେଇପାରିବ, peer learning ରେ ହେଇପାରିବ, group learning ରେ ହେଇପାରିବ, blended mode ରେ ହେଇପାରିବ. But there are different kind of collaboration which can be used or we can use in our classroom to construct the knowledge. Mercer proposed that classroom talk or discussion can be classified into 3 categories of talk. One is exploratory, cumulative and disputational. Cumulative talk kona? Cumulative talk, by contrast, occurs when the learner builds a shared understanding and body of knowledge from the accumulation of agreed upon pieces of knowledge. So this type of knowledge is based on mutual agreement. So here there is a scope of socio-personal skill development of the learner. The learners are accountable only to one another. So cumulative talk may appear to be cooperative interaction, given the valuing of others, contributing and sharing of power and control that characterize such interaction. That is your cumulative talk. There is mutual cooperation, coordination between the group members, and there is mutual agreement between the group members. So it is more, it enhances or it helps in a more cooperative interaction, valuing the opinion or contribution of others in the teaching learning process. Whereas disputation talk is highly constraining, competitive from social interaction, characterized by an unwillingness to take one or other's perspective. That means disputational talk तुम्हारे जो तर्क प्रतियोगिता हुए ना नहीं? Have debate हुई जो debate.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Debate में some
Yes, ma'am.
person say in favor of the phenomena or concept or topic, some other persons deny it and they say they have some different viewpoint. This is your disputation talk. Okay. So disputation talk is particularly, it should be utilized in a positive way. Otherwise, it may create a disadvantaged learning environment for the children. So it should be engaged, the children should be engaged in a positive way. Next is your exploratory talk. Exploratory talk kona? तमर 5P रे गोटे अछि ना नहीं? पांचटा जो ई अछि एंगेज परे परे अछि एक्सप्लोर सेटा कोन? एंगेज परे अछि तो एक्सप्लोर.
Yes, ma'am.
एक्सप्लोर टा कोन? पिला को गोटे कांसेप्ट हमें देई देले, हमको आज एई कांसेप्ट विषय रे कोन करिवार अछि? एक्सप्लोर करिवार अछि. तो पिला निजे एक्सप्लोर करिवो एई कांसेप्ट रे आउ कोन न्यू इंफॉर्मेशन अछि a concept re kona nuwa kara jai paribo. The child will explore by manipulating the object, by exploring the object. That is your exploratory talk. Semti ame kisi pila ku topic dei pariba, kichi ideas dei pariba, joti pila kon karibe. The children will engage with one another's idea through joint or collective reasoning. Pila reasoning dabo, se explore karuchi, se establish karuchi, bas kichi concept ku se bahar karuchi. से किसी reasoning देई पारुथिबो no. If I am saying this, then I must have a valid reason behind this. So exploratory talk जेतेबेले पिलाटी दउची actually it is applicable to higher order students. Okay, exploratory talk जेतेबेले तमे दउची. That means we are going or in-depth analysis is done and we are coming with a conclusion and we have to establish or we have to justify why we are giving such type of conclusion. Baker defined collaboration as a symmetrical and aligned form of cooperation, problem solving independently of whether the participant agree or not. According to him, interaction is symmetrical if the participant adopts certain roles equally throughout the interaction. That means Baker is saying that participants should equally involved in the problem solving process. Similarly, Stahl described that collaborative knowledge construction is a cyclical process where individuals tacit understanding related to phenomena, concept or material tools available and relevant to understand the topic under discussion. Similarly, the socio-constructivist perspective based on Piaget view of learning believed that individuals actively construct knowledge by a process of equilibration. Equilibration केतेबेले होची? Assimilation और accommodation जेतेबेले मिसी जाउची सेतेबेले कोन होची? Equilibration होची ना नहीं? समस्त जानिथिबो what is assimilation, what is accommodation. Okay. Next is the role of teacher in knowledge construction. Okay, we will discuss it in our next class, okay? If you have any question, we can discuss it now. The role of teacher in knowledge construction, and in the next class, we will study about the philosophy theory by different educational thinkers. Okay? Is a question, Achi? Yes? If somebody take the screenshot and kindly send it to me. Yes? Is a question nine? Huh?
No, ma'am.
Question किसे नहीं बहुत सहज concept है ना नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
So next class में हमें पढ़ीबा the role of teacher in knowledge construction. If somebody will take the screenshot.
Ma'am, I take the screenshot. I will send it to you.
And send it to me.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, ମୁଁ ନେଇ ଯାଇଛି କମଳିନ ସାହୁ.
Kamlani, want to say something? Smita.
Ma'am, ମୁଁ screenshot ନେଇ ଯାଇଛି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେବି.
Subuni, तुमे नहीं जीव screenshot?
मैडम ନେଇଛି ମୁଁ screenshot ପଠେଇଦେବି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ.
ठीक ଅଛି. Thank you, Sunita. ठीक ଅଛି. Thank you all for your participation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we will leave the meeting now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am, for the class.
Okay.